The Viltrumites are undoubtedly the most aggressive alien race in their universe. As they continue to grow their empire, this would naturally lead them to conflicts with other alien groups. However, they overcame such challenges due to the verosity and sheer brute strength. Today, however, we will be matching them up against an alien race just as powerful and just as ferocious. Hello, my name is Rox, and today we will be seeing if the Saiyans can successfully invade Viltrum. Alright, seeing as you must respect your elders, today we will be starting off with the older series, in this case Dragon Ball. Now, for the Saiyan invasion, we will be talking about Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta, and the Cybermen. For the first time, I believe, in Dragon Ball history, I'm going to say that Raditz will actually be respected in this instance, due to the fact that Raditz can easily get to moon level. Now let's try to put this into perspective. He was so strong that two characters, Goku and Piccolo, had to team up just to stand a chance against him, and it still took Goku giving up his life in order to win the fight. This same Goku and Piccolo could destroy the moon with relative ease, and Master Roshi was also able to destroy the moon at a power level of 180. Now compare that with Raditz holding a power level of 1200. Now, while power levels are not necessarily the most accurate and they do not necessarily stack linearly, it is still imperative that I tell you this is a massive jump regardless of if it is to the exact scale. On top of that, getting into the Cybermen being a little bit weaker but more than likely in the same ballpark, then we once again jump even further by getting into Nappa, which is crazy. This further stacking on the already insane power possessed by Raditz. Nappa is nearly 4 times stronger than Raditz, regardless of how much you believe in power levels. It is important to state that he is far stronger and most likely in that large planetary range, especially since both Nappa and Vegeta stated that they could destroy planets, and this statement is even further amplified by the fact that they stated during their invasion that Earth was considered a small planet, meaning that in their opinion, destroying Earth would take much less effort than their normal jobs. Now, comparing all of that, once again, you have Vegeta being able to one-shot Cyberman and Nappa, and the only person remotely close to him in power in the Saiyan saga was Goku. So it's safe to say that at this point, Vegeta is large planetary, and if you take the anime into account, which I would like to do in this instance, and this is due to the fact that we are using some TV show feats for Invincible, so it's only fair that Vegeta then gets his dwarf star level calculation by one of the additional scenes in the anime, where he blows up the large planet. Also, Vegeta did this with only 2 fingers, so it's safe to say at this point he's quite insane. Moving into speed, and it's another instance of, well, damn, Raditz should be at least the speed of light considering Kid Goku in the original Dragon Ball series was able to at least react to some light speed attacks, for example, the solar flare, and then you upscale that massively with Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta, and even the Cybermen, meaning that they just continuously get further into massively faster than light. On top of that, the fact that they're able to perceive ships which travel across the entire universe in a relatively short amount of time, meaning that them being massively faster than light is simply put the most likely scenario for their combat and reaction speed. But I have just established the Saiyans. It's time to establish the ones that are trying to prevent said invasion, and that is, of course, the Viltrumites. Alright, I'm going to be talking about the Viltrumites right now, and I need to get this off my chest. There will be minor spoilers, alright? Everyone who either doesn't care or read the comic after watching Season 1, like I did, be prepared. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there are only 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left, or the statement is more so around 50. Cool. So, for simplicity's sake, we have around 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites. Well, how strong are they? Let's get into this. So, all of them should be incredibly fast and incredibly strong. however, not to the level of the top tiers. This is due to the fact that we have seen Omni-Man and Invincible fight other Viltrumites, and as you can probably remember, those fights were a gore fest. They were very gory because someone was dying, and as you can probably guess, it wasn't the main characters. Now, this leads to me assuming that they do scale to younger versions of Mark. They are not as superior beings as they would like to boast about themselves. However, it is imperative that we realize they are still incredibly strong, leading most of their calculations and feats to the moon level ranges. This is due to the fact that the main feat states that 37 Viltrumites could split the planet Earth in two. This means that this should lowball every single Viltrumite in the moon level, at the very low end. However, the higher level Viltrumites were able to perform much more notable feats, in which 3 of them were able to destroy a massive planet by drilling right through the middle. Then, these 3 Viltrumites were completely fodderized by the Emperor of Viltrum, named Thrag. This is where we finally get into the strongest Viltrumite at their disposal. And he is the one leading the assault, and finding out where he scales is of the utmost importance, but, as I stated, was able to completely fodderize the contributors of the calculation of the feat. It was classified as a small planet level for each individual, meaning that Thrag, after manhandling these adversaries, would obviously scale much higher. Then them leading to most people being confidently be able to say that Thrag should be reliably be placed in the planet to large planet range. However, the thing is that people love to bring up of Invincible is that speed. And this is true. They are massively faster than light. Every single Viltrum can cross galaxies in a matter of weeks. And considering that Thrag is so fast that he's able to completely blitz other Viltrumites, mean that once again he is even faster than massively faster than light, or deeper into it, I should say, in this category. And it is stated that reaction speed and flight speed are the exact same, meaning that every single Viltrumite should be placed into the massively faster than light category, and once again, Thrag scaling above this even greater. So, for the summarization of the Viltrumites, we have most of them being moon level, the strongest one being large planetary, and all of them being massively faster than light. Anyway, moving on. And now that we have successfully scaled both combatants, it is time to get into the actual fight. But there is one thing I would like you guys to do, and that is to subscribe to my channel. If you guys do like my content, you probably want to see more of it, and I try to post every Saturday. But anyway, back to the video. So, if you guys have been paying attention, you may have noticed that a single Viltrumite is not doing anything to the Saiyans. But yeah, there are 50 of them, so it will become how the Saiyans invade and what they do during the invasion. And this may be a surprise, but Raditz will be doing damage even if he goes by himself. Most likely, the Viltrumites will not engage him in their total mass, meaning that a handful of Viltrumites won't even be able to contend with him, and this is due to the fact for Piccolo to even damage him, said character had to amplify his power to the level of Raditz. And to put this into perspective, the average Viltrumite is going to completely bounce off of him, even at moon level. We've seen before 2 moon level characters, and it means nothing to him. However, he is notably slower, and he will not be getting in as many hits as I believe it is, and this is truly where he will slowly get overwhelmed, leading to Raditz dying and Vegeta and Nappa and the Cybermen making their entrance later on. And judging by how Viltrumites refuse to procreate with what they deem as lesser beings, that means they have no access to replenishing their population, meaning that most likely Raditz, while not being able to survive, would still do at least somewhat notable damage, assuming he would be able to take out, say, 5 Viltrumites, which I believe isn't any stretch of the imagination. This gets into the fact that the Cybermen alone can be considered a massive fighting force, then considering the fact that Nappa is worth 4 Cybermen alone, and Vegeta with a power level of 18,000 would be so massively superior to anything a Viltrumite is even capable of producing, would lead to them quite frankly destroying all of the remaining Viltrumites. I would argue that thanks to their greater speed and endurance, they would make the fight last significantly longer than obviously what I'm describing it as. However, just as we have seen in the show, characters that are notably weaker attempting to make contact with someone notably that much superior can also lead to them damaging themselves. Now, I can definitely see Nappa dying, especially with how ridiculously fast the Viltrumites are, and just a continuous swarm on him and the Cybermen. However, I'm sorry, but Vegeta is not going down in this instance. The power gap between him and even Thrag, the strongest Viltrumite, is so immense that I genuinely do not see how they can survive an attack, and if need be, Vegeta could destroy the entire planet, vaporizing every single Viltrumite in that instance. And this is not only taking into account that a Viltrum has a moon. The reason that the Saiyans were unable to use their Great Ape forms when invading the Earth is due to the fact that the moon was destroyed by Piccolo in order to stop Gohan from using the same power. However, Viltrum has never done such a thing, meaning that the Saiyans will be able to amplify their power by 10 times, leading to an indistinguishable fact that the Viltrumites will not survive the attacks from him. Any attack from him. So it becomes a battle of stamina and a continuous wave of dead Viltrumites attempting to stop Vegeta. And I do not believe it will end well in this instance. I believe that the Saiyans will be able to invade Viltrum successfully, and worst case scenario, they will vaporize the planet, leading to the species being completely wiped out. But I suppose that is what is expected. After all, the Viltrumites are so easily able to throw away that which they consider weak. Whereas Saiyans have always believed that while you are born weak, if you show talent, if you promise to continuously move forward, you will be recognized by even the Prince of all Saiyans, as, well, a low-class warrior did. Proving that while pride is the driving force of these two races, it's not pride in the right reasons. One has pride in their empire and the purity of their blood. The other has pride in the desire to improve themselves, and by extension of improving themselves, they make the empire even greater. That is the key difference between this matchup. Every single Saiyan individual has an indomitable fighting spirit inside of them that will push them to even greater limits. Hell, it pushes one of them in particular to go beyond their limits and fight against the very same person that ended their world, surpassing all their limits and truly becoming a Super Saiyan. But this is my opinion. I do understand that Invincible scaling is readily improving as the show continuously moves forward. However, I think I have brought an answer to the question brought up. But if you are unsatisfied, please do put down anything you would disagree with in the comments below. Hope to see you guys in the next video. And this is Rox, signing out.